What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Your Creative Push, the podcast and the YouTube channel that pushes you to pursue your creative passions. And I hope that you are all safe and sound wherever you're tuning in from. These have been an insane couple of weeks. I don't think that there's anybody in the world that hasn't felt the effect of the coronavirus pandemic and its effects on society and on everyday life. And perhaps you're like me and you're craving going back to life as it was before this all started, and you just want to return to normal life. But in my recent conversation with a dear friend of the show, Alatar, we talked about a multitude of topics, but one thing that really stuck with me was this idea that perhaps we don't want to go back to everyday life, and perhaps there's something better that we can strive to, especially as creative people. So take a listen to this.
I mean, we have right now with the coronavirus pandemic, with the world being, turned upside down, we have a tremendous opportunity right now to dream a better world. Everyone's like, oh, I just want things to go back to normal. Do you really? Do you really think that what has been normal for the past 100 years is a good thing? Mm-hmm. Not that I'm saying I want to burn it all down. Please don't hear that in what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, is this the best we can do?
No.
Really? The conditions of the world as it was before this outbreak, is that really what we want to get back to? Or where can we dare to start dreaming a little bit better of a world? This is a great opportunity for us to be like, I keep coming back to it, but what does a human in right relationship to the world look like? Because I don't think it looks like working a shitty 9-to-5, being depressed all the time, consuming a bunch of stuff, burning fossil fuels to and from work, making a 2-hour commute so that you can pay for your bills, and that being what most of us have to do, and that being the way the world is structured. I don't think any of us are fooling ourselves into thinking that that's what we had in mind when we came to this planet.
No, I completely agree.
So now we have an opportunity, for a while, let's dream some bigger dreams, because from a magical perspective, and we have enough documentation now to know this is true, thoughts are causative. If we can really truly dream together, we're going to alter this world. We're going to build it together. I think that's partly what creativity is for. So I challenge people right now. I'm like, this is a great opportunity to really sit and think with what do you believe humans in right relationship with the world around them looks like and feel? More importantly, what does it feel like?
And I challenge you too. Because I myself have thoughts about the world around me as a whole. I have thoughts about government. I have thoughts about leadership, about healthcare, about the environment, about war, about spending, about a multitude of things. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And perhaps you have those thoughts too. And maybe you dream of a better world. And you can, and you should, dream of a better world and showcase that in your art and in your creations. And I know how tough that can seem, and it's something that I personally struggle with. I've made a whole video about that as well, about that feeling of who am I? Who am I to come up with the solutions to world problems? And the imposter syndrome can come in heavy when it comes to thinking about the world's problems. And my advice to you, and what I've said before, is you don't have to come up with the answers to the world's problems. Simply asking the questions is enough. And I know that can be sometimes scary to even ask the questions, but I think it's important, especially if you are feeling that the world needs a change. Definitely show how or where the problem areas are, where the cracks are, or where you want to see the changes. You don't have to come up with the solutions, but simply talking about it and bringing it out in your creations is enough. That's kind of our role, like Alatar said, to ask those questions and to work together to find the solutions, to dream up the better world. And sometimes still, the world can seem too big. And this is the point that I really want to drive home in this video, is the fact that before you can dream of a better world, or much less change the world for the better, you often have to change your own world. And for a lot of us, our worlds just got a lot smaller, like the size of a few hundred square feet. So the change of the world and your world has to start at home. And Al and I talked about this at length in the episode. And Al actually brought up the example of when they're finished dinner or finished lunch or whatever, cleaning off their dishes and putting them away. That simple act has such a cascade, what they call a trophic cascade, to make the entirety of their day better because of that feeling of accomplishment, of finishing something that transcends throughout the day. And when we're forced to stay in our homes and we don't necessarily go to our jobs and have all of these other distractions of life that are just kind of pounding down on us at all times, we have this opportunity to kind of take inventory of our everyday life. What makes us happy? What makes us feel bad? What makes us maybe shameful? When do we feel regret for not getting our pet projects done? You can really take inventory of those emotions and those kinds of states of mind that you're in. See what works for you, see what doesn't work for you, where you need to improve. I had a much bigger issue a few months back with drinking. I took drinking out of my life, and my life has changed completely. The way I feel every day has changed completely. I feel not shameful about my actions. I don't feel like I'm hiding anything from the world anymore. It feels good to kind of be out. So whether it's a big issue like that or something as small as cleaning your dishes, take inventory of what's going on in your life and really try to make changes for the better. In scientific experiments, they're always taking away variables in order to prove their hypothesis. And whether or not you want to look at this as a scientific experiment or not, the truth remains that a lot of the variables of your life have been wiped away. And you can see this as a chance for you to use your smaller world as a sort of testing ground to see what is bringing positivity to your life, what's bringing negativity to your life, to look at your home life under a microscope. So that's for home life, but also in your creativity, in your creations. Another thing that we talked about in the episode was the fact that this is an opportunity for you to do things that are off-brand, to do things that are kind of experimental, things that you've always wanted to try, some pet projects. See how those things make you feel. You have this like bonus time that you can actually get to those things and not feel shameful that you wasted time or did something different. See how they make you feel. If they make you feel good, if you like what you're creating, then dive into it. If not, if you didn't like it, guess what? It's something that you can cross off your list and you won't have regret about. Additionally, you can use this time to brush up on skills. You know those things you've been putting off, the things that you really need to work on, but you know it's going to take repetitive action and you just don't feel like you have the time or the energy to do it. And that's another thing that Al mentioned in this episode was doing that and how that brought them joy again with art. There's so many good things from this episode, so many key takeaways. I always want you to listen to all the episodes, but this one in particular, I really have to recommend that you listen to. It's right here on YouTube. It will be at the end of this video or in the description. Please listen. It's a really good episode that will help you, especially in these days of quarantine where you might be going crazy. It's good to have a couple people that are talking about the same things that you're going through. So that's all I've got for you. Please hit that like button. I always forget to mention that, but it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and especially in these early days, I really appreciate it. And it helps me to know that you like what I'm putting out so that I can keep putting out good content to help you on your creative journey. And also let me know in the comments below, what is the better world that you're daring to dream of? I can't wait to hear about it and maybe even help you to get there. I love you all. Remember that the universe deserves your creations and you are the universe. Bye.